السلام عليكم يا شباب ويا بنات، كيف حالكم؟ إن شاء الله طيبين. اليوم إن شاء الله راح ألعب لعبة اسمها The Mystery أو Mystery of Druids. لعبة من هذه الشركة اللي اسمها House of Tales، شركة ألمانية مع الأسف سكرت. كانت يعني مهتمة بألعاب القصص، يعني كأنها كوانتك دريم مصغرة، كأنها يعني دي الشركة اللي سوت هيفي رين وديترويد، بس يعني بإمكانيات أقل. بس يعني نزلت ألعاب جميلة، أنا لعبت لها كذا لعبة حلوة مثل لعبة Overlooked History of Violence، ولعبة Moment of Silence، ولعبة 15 Days. في لها كم لعبة والله جميلة كمان، ودائما يعني قصصها عن السياسية، conspiracy، مؤامرة كونية دولية. هذا اسم اللعبة The Mystery of Druids. طبعا هذه أول لعبة من ألعابهم، نزلت 2001. طبعا الشركة فتحت 2000 أو 2001 وسكرت 2010، وخلال ال10 سنوات نزلت 10 ألعاب. أتوقع 4 ألعاب للجوال و6 على البي سي، وواحدة من هالستة كانت أتوقع مخصصة لألمانيا، حتى كانت باللغة الألمانية. طبعا درويدز معناها لما ترجمتها هم الكهنة، لدول الناس اللي تشوفوهم. يعني اللعبة تتناول قصة المستر عنهم، سووا شيء غامض وشيء مفيد. الرسوم يعني سيئة، 2000 و 2000. شكله زعيم، سووا شيء في مواليد الجدد، طقوس يعني. كأنه يقدمهم قرابين يعني.
And that's why I say you're a blockhead, Lowry. How could you let such a thing happen?
هذا البطل.
The man was innocent. What do you think the press are going to say about all this? Now get out of here! Get the hell out of my sight! If I have any more trouble with you, you'll be dishing out parking tickets before long. That's a promise, Lowry.
شيف انسبكتر ميلر. ما في حتى شاشة بداية.
Oh, and here's my good friend Halligan, another one of the invaluable detectives of our glorious murder squad. Don't just stand there gaping. Come in.
هذا مديره في العمل.
I'm glad you could make it. After all, you're a busy man, aren't you? Now look here, Detective Halligan. I've got used to being surrounded by a bunch of incompetent, half-baked blockheads. But your smart, well-dressed colleague Lowry has just earned himself the golden badge of stupidity.
قاعد يغلط هذا.
Halligan, we've got a bit of a problem. We've had an innocent man locked up in jail. Regrettably, he was killed in prison before we could correct our mistake. Unfortunate affair. And now we've got this lunatic killer running around all over London. We have to make sure that at least this oversight is put right.
أحداث في لندن، شوف حتى اللهجة يعني.
Your clear-up rate so far ought to be sufficient evidence that there's no point in asking you to clear up anything more than a common bicycle theft. But this does happen to be the murder squad. I am the chief of this department. All I have for choice is that blockhead Lowry and you.
Okay, Chief. What do you want me to do?
Where did Lowry go wrong?
Where did Lowry go wrong?
Your dear colleague Lowry dealt with the skeleton murders last year. You should know that, Halligan. Lowry worked on the case for several months and finally managed to pull a culprit out of the hat. A butcher from South London. A married man with kids. They gave him a life sentence. He was in jail till 3 weeks ago.
Pulled out the hat, so the butcher didn't do it after all.
Pulled out of the hat, you say? So the butcher didn't do it after all?
Oh, you're a genius, Halligan. He didn't do it. We found that out today.
Okay, he didn't do it. How could he be convicted then?
He didn't do it? How could he be convicted then?
Detective Lowry imaginatively constructed an impressive chain of evidence, and the court followed his arguments in detail. The public wanted somebody to blame, and they found somebody. That's life.
How do you know that the man Lowry arrested didn't commit the murder?
Well, all right, these things happen. But how do you know that the man Lowry arrested didn't commit the murders?
Very simple. Dead people don't go around committing more murders.
Oh, mate. There's been another murder.
There's been another murder?
Exactly, Halligan. A pile of bones has been found in Epping Forest. Supposedly a male corpse. We don't know any more than that. I presume we both agree that it can't have been Lowry's man, eh?
Oh, of course.
You see, I've just managed to get that into Lowry's head as well. You heard it? Lowry's off the case. Halligan, you drive out to Epping Forest and take a look at the evidence.
Of course, sir.
And Halligan, no sloppiness now. I want results. Sensible results. The press has already been terrorizing me this morning. The killer must be found. Do I make myself clear?
Of course, Chief.
Good. This is the file with all the necessary information, and now you better get going quickly.
اوكي نروح الغابة يعني.
I'd rather think about it. That doesn't work. My case file. Not a good idea. Looks like that won't work. That won't help. I don't believe that doesn't work. I can't see any connection there.
طيب ما في شيء. خلينا نطلع. ان شاء الله يركض. اذا لحظة اذا كذي يمشي على بس اذا يركض. اوكي. وش هذا؟ المختبر لا يعني شوف فحصوا فيه الأدلة والأشياء.
Hello, Chris.
Hi, Halligan.
There's work for you.
There's work for you.
There's always work for me, Halligan. And right now, I've got enough work not to be disturbed again and again.
You don't have much time now, I can't come back.
Well, then if you don't have much time now, I can come back later.
That would be a good idea, Halligan. I'll have some more time later.
Okay, Chris. See you later on.
أتوقع بعدين يعني. خلنا نروح الغابة إذا كان عنها. السلام على الركضة. اللعبة معوقة بامتياز. نيوز كنت وش هذا؟ من هو ده؟ في الهواء قاعد.
Hello, Lowry.
Oh no, not you, Halligan. You're all I need at the moment.
That's a nice suit you are wearing.
That's a nice suit you're wearing.
Don't humour me, Halligan. You don't know a thing about suits. A blind man would know from 100 yards away that you bought your stuff at Woolworths. What do you want?
Have you
Just
seen...
a quick question, Lowry. Have you seen my wallet?
Your wallet? You've got a nerve. I haven't really had a very pleasant day so far, as you might have noticed. Why would I worry about your bloody wallet?
Could you just give me a sensible answer? I am looking for
Larry, could you just give me a sensible answer? I'm looking for my wallet.
So what? Do you think I've got it? Why don't you just go and clear up your oh-so-tidy office? Maybe you'll find some of those things you allegedly just wanted to borrow for a while.
الحين البطل مضيع محفظته كذي فجأة يعني. Have you got... Okay, let's not...
Let's not argue, Lowry. I need some information from you about the last investigations.
You've got the file, Halligan. I suppose you can read. And now scram.
Lowry, I've read your file. There's just nonsense in it.
Do you know what I think, Halligan? I think I don't need to tolerate a detective in a £20 suit walking past my door criticising the quality of my work.
جاكيته سعره 20 استرليني 20 جنيه استرليني.
Well, it's hardly my fault that the chief has taken you off the case. It's your own fault.
You can keep your analysis to yourself. Just leave me alone.
You're obliged by your office to give me any information I may require.
You've got all the information. You've got the file. What more do you want?
Okay. I'll talk to you later, Lowry. My case file.
كيف أقرأ؟ لحظة شو؟ خلنا نطلع. هالركضة العجيبة هذه. أوه المكتب حقه.
Chief Inspector Miller will get this file. I can find my way without a map. I know my way around well enough. I won't find anything I could make use of now in there. I'll take it with me. I'm determined to give up smoking. Leave those alone. I'm determined to give up smoking. Leave those alone.
Okay. وش هذا؟
Not a good idea. That won't help either. The green scarf. It's Janet's. That one is wet. That one is wet. I can find my way without a map. I know my way around well enough.
أنا كيف أطلع من مركز الشرطة؟ يمكن أجي هنا. قدام. يمكن هنا طلع. أوه لا لا. طيب هذا وين؟ أوه المدير. وش اللي أخذته؟
A matchbox. Still half full.
كبريت.
Excuse me, but I didn't quite understand all the points of the briefing. Could we just go through it again?
My God, Halligan, do we really have to repeat it 3 times?
I'm really sorry, Chief. I was slightly distracted this morning.
Only this morning? Well, all right then. What do you want to know?
What mad?
What mad assassin are you referring to?
Halligan, it's well known that you'd rather read those crazy books of yours during office hours than taking any real interest in the affairs of this department, but it would now appear that you've even stopped reading the newspapers as well. For months now, a killer's been running around in London, taking victims apart and leaving nothing but bones for us to find. You can read about it in any newspaper.
I don't pay much attention.
I don't pay too much attention to what the papers say.
You aren't? You should be, Halligan. Really, you should. Then you'd know that your colleague, Lowry, arrested a butcher for the killings. He was murdered in prison 3 weeks ago.
A butcher? How fitting. And? Why did he do it?
You'll be surprised, Halligan. He probably didn't do it at all.
How do we know that?
We don't know it for a fact, Halligan, but we can guess. There's been another victim. The body was discovered this morning. The victim was killed in exactly the same way as all the others. We have to assume that we're dealing with the same killer.
زين نفس الكلام. يعني هم في قاتل الظاهر سيريال كذا، هم اشتبهوا في بوتشر قصاب، بس يوم سجنوا صارت مرة ثانية الجريمة، فعرف انه يعني مو هو، انه هو مسجون، هو انقتل في السجن نفس البوتشر هذا. بس كيف اطلع؟ اوه الاليفيتر. سكوتلاند ايبي فورست يصح، وقاعد اروح الى الايبي فورست عشان تشوف الجثة.
Good morning, officer.
Good morning, Detective. I hope you've had a good breakfast. The sight over there is not very appetizing.
When were the bones discovered?
Oh, well, you know, I've got used to it. When were the bones discovered?
At 5:30 a.m. by a jogger. He phoned us.
5:30 a.m. He was out and about quite early this morning.
Indeed, sir. And half an hour later, the
واحد
press arrived.
يجري في الغابة وقال لهم عن الجسد 5:30.
How did the press find out about this so early, officer? Did you call them by any chance?
No idea, sir. These vultures seem to have a sixth sense for crime. It's either that or somebody from your police station tipped them off.
Were there any onlookers?
Yes, a couple, but I sent them away. The real run will start after people finish work, when they've got the time. We've seen it before.
Well, hold the fort, officer.
Yes, sir. I'll have to do that.
Okay, officer, that was it. Thank you.
Anytime, sir.
كهذه شكلها.
Good morning, officer.
Good morning, Detective. I hope you've had a good breakfast. The
Oh,
sight
نفس
over there
الكلام.
is not very
كيف أروحه؟
appetizing.
سأل عن فورنسيك الطب
I know,
الشرعي.
officer. I can imagine a better sight as well. Has the forensic squad already been here?
Yes, just this morning, after the phone call.
Are there any useful?
Are there any useful traces?
Hardly any traces at all, sir. No blood, no fingerprints, nothing. I don't want to judge the case prematurely, but I don't believe you'll find anything more here, sir. Detective Hecker and his people have done a thorough job.
We'll see.
What about identification?
What about identification? Has the forensic squad said anything about that yet?
Detective Hecker said that we'd have to wait for the dentist's report.
Dentist?
Chances are practically nil. We've got hundreds of missing people in the files, and of course the dead person could be a foreigner. This won't be easy for you, Detective.
Careful officer that was it who reported discovery. قلنا سألنا.
What do you think, officer?
سأل عن الرأي.
Well, if you ask me, this is the same handwriting as in the other cases we've dealt with in the last months. This is the third crime scene of this kind I've seen, and every time it's the same pattern. A pile of bones, nicely cleaned, no traces, nothing.
مجرم خطير. ثالث ضحية بنشوف الأعظام بس. You know the other cases. خلينا نسمع عن other cases.
You know the other cases?
Of course. The newspapers are full of them. Didn't your department deal with them?
Okay, officer, that was it.
Okay, officer, that was it. Thank you.
Anytime, sir.
اوكي نروح تشوف العظام. يا ساتر.
I should take the bone with me, but
ياخذ عظمه وياه.
you don't transport a piece of evidence in your coat pocket. That might falsify traces.
عشان كذي اخذ القماش. يبغى احطها في القماش.
I can't do it with the scarf. I should think up something else.
يبغى ياخذ عظمه بس كيف؟ خلينا نشوف اذا في شيء.
should. You don't transport a piece of evidence in your coat pocket. That I should take the bone with me, but...
طيب خلنا.
There's hardly any flesh on the bone. Unbelievable. The skull of the corpse. Strange. There's hardly any flesh on the bone. There's hardly any flesh on the bone. There's hardly any flesh on the bone. Unbelievable. This bone is quite long. Seems it's from the victim's leg. You don't transport. I should take. You don't trans. I should take the bone with me, but. The grass next to the bones is black. Strange. There's hardly any flesh on the bone. There's hardly any flesh on the bone. Unbelievable. There's hardly any flesh on the bone. And the skull of the corpse. There's hardly any flesh on the bone. Unbelievable.
Officer,
What is it, sir?
I just want to go through all this with you once more. I get the impression. Okay. الوالد ما
I've lost my wallet and I think it may be here somewhere. Have you seen it?
Your wallet? No.
Could you help me look for it?
Sir, I have to guard the scene of the crime. I'm under orders not to leave this place.
But all my money was in the wallet.
والله مسخرة.
Couldn't you just help me look for it?
I'm sorry, sir, but I don't have your wallet, and I must not leave this place. Would you please appreciate that?
يلا صادق.
Okay, officer, that was it. Thank you.
Anytime, sir.
طيب شو نسوي؟ لازم ناخذ عظمة ويانا. خلني يمكن اروح على كيف اللي هو هذاك المختبر. سكوتلاند يعني اروح ل هذا. السلام على الركضة. وش هذا؟ مطبعة.
Hello, Janet.
Hello, Brent.
Have you got a
Have you
minute?
got a minute?
Not even a minute, Brent. Do I look as though I've got any time?
لا خلنا ما نضيع وقت. أنا أتوقع اللي راح أحتاجه هذاك مختبر. لا مو هذا اللي قاعد في الهواء. يعطينا شيء كيس نحط فيه العظمة ذيك.
Hello, Chris.
Hi, Halligan.
I've just come back from the place where they found the bones in Epping Forest.
Why are you telling me? Have there been any decisive discoveries in that case?
There was a bite of bone. I just
There was a pile of bones. Nothing else.
Yes, I had that impression as well when I was out there with the forensic squad. Everything is quite clean. You didn't find anything either?
No, nothing.
I would actually have been surprised if you had. And why did you come here then, if I may ask?
Oh, I thought you might be interested in this.
Sure, Halligan. Thank you. Anything else?
No, that was it.
Well then, see you later.
Okay, Chris. See you later on. Far too hot to touch. really don't want to break anything.
يمكن هنا نشوف شيء.
There's nothing I can do with this. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can... Take it with me? Take it with me? Too dangerous to carry the bottle around with me. I don't even know what kind of stuff that is. Too dangerous to carry the bottle around. A bottle with some sort of chemical. The bottle is full of... Too dangerous to carry the bottle with some sort of... Too dangerous to carry the bottle around with me. There's nothing I... That's a mortar.
كان هنا.
I can't do anything with this. I can't do anything with this. A container with chemicals. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Halligan.
I've just come back from the place where they found the bones in Epping Forest.
Mm-hmm. Why are you telling me? Have there been any decisive discoveries in that case?
I just had a look around there.
Oh. Yeah, it's actually quite a nice place, isn't it? I used to take my family there for picnics.
How can you think of a picnic when you're looking at the scene of a crime like that?
Why not? The bones, the green meadow, it all somehow reminds me of a picnic, don't you think so as well? Well, we always had chicken on our picnics, and it looks quite the same after we're finished.
Oh my God, Hector, I wish I had your nerve. I was nearly sick out there.
Well, you know, Halligan, I'm not squeamish. I've been doing this job in the lab for too long now to get the shivers anymore.
I wouldn't take your job if you paid me for it.
You get used to everything.
Okay, Chris, I have to go.
Thanks for keeping me up to date, Halligan. I love being informed that nothing has been found out yet.
نروح نكلم المدير. كان ينفعنا بشيء. نقول له ترى نبغى ناخذ عظمة.
Excuse me, but I didn't quite understand all the points of the briefing. Could we just go through it again?
My God, Halligan, do we really have to repeat it 3 times?
I'm really sorry, Chief. I was slightly
لا ما
distracted
يصير.
this morning.
نقول له عيد
Only this morning? Well, all right then. What do you want to know?
لا ما يحتاج. أو إن أروح مكتبي. وش عندي أنا أغراض. هذه اللعبة يعني يقول ألغازها صعبة. هو بالعادة يعني الألعاب القديمة صعبة ما يوضحها. حتى يعني في الريفيو يقول لك راح تحتاج إلى جايد في النهاية. لأنها غير واضحة. واسأل هذا.
Halligan?
ما يقدر ياخذ شيء. بس.
Yes?
Might I ask you what you think you're doing?
I just wanted to borrow your scissors. Just for 5 minutes.
Forget it.
Don't make such a fuss about your blasted scissors. I won't break them.
Oh, you won't break them, Halligan. You'll lose them, mislay them, not bring them back. You'll do with them what you always do with anything you lay your hands on. I am determined not to lose anything ever again, Halligan, especially not to you. Do I make myself clear?
Okay.
All right, then. Keep them.
What is it this time, Halligan?
I'd like to know how you managed to get أديت okay. Where can I find sticker? I know that you will say for your help. خلنا أسأل عن sticker هذا.
Where can I find Detective Stryker?
Striker? On holiday. Why?
I heard was suspended. He's still. You could tell me more about skeleton murder.
Maybe he could tell me more about the skeleton murders.
Halligan, I coordinated the case. Stryker was my right hand. You won't get anything new out of him.
Okay. I'll talk to you later, Lowry.
What is it this time, Halligan?
I know that you'll say no, but I have to ask for your help.
You do actually need help, Halligan. But not from me. Try a social worker. Well?
Some change.
Could you lend me some change?
You haven't found your wallet, have you? Well, sorry, Halligan, but this is Scotland Yard, not the Bank of England.
The Bank of England is the central clearing bank, Lowry. You can't draw any money there.
Indeed. Just try it somewhere else, then. You won't get a penny from me.
Okay. I'll talk to you later, Lowry.
ساتر والله خف. والله يسوي سكانر ذا وجهه. هذا خلينا نكلم هذه ممكن تفيدنا.
Hello, Janet.
What is it now?
I just forgot a couple of things.
What is it?
Have you got a minute? Have you heard she...
Have you heard? The chief has handed Lowry's case over to me. The skeleton murders.
Yes, and there was no way that I could have missed the conversation between the chief and Lowry.
These have already won. Have you got a file about that?
Have we got a file about that?
As far as I can see, you've already got the file, Brent.
What? Yes, of course I've got the file. But you know that Larry and Stryker have been working on this case. The file contains a load of ridiculous nonsense, you know that. I need the terminal.
Remember the official channels, Brent. Get the necessary forms and then we'll talk again.
Damn bureaucracy. I need to make an inquiry, Janet, right now.
If you start shouting at me, I shall see the chief before you can count to 3. Do you understand? And now leave here, please. Come back when you've got the necessary forms. Here, take this sheet and get it signed.
I need a signature. Whose signature?
Oh my God, Brent, don't pretend to be more stupid than you are.
So I won't get anywhere without it then?
Exactly, Brent. Rules are rules.
Good. See you later then.
Take your time, Brent.
I'll take that with me. You never know. I might need it.
وش أخذ؟
A sheet of carbon paper. Very useful when dealing with bureaucrats. That won't get me any further. A sheet of carbon paper. Very useful when dealing with bureaucrats.
فيها ميكس؟ لا.
That won't help either. Of course. It can't. No, not a... That won't help either. least that's one thing you can get hold of here without too much trouble. They are needed for the forms. Makes it easier for the chief to sign them. There's no... Now there is a form for information procurement on the clipboard.
مستغرب أن من شوي دخلت المكتب حقي أنا الحين مو لاقيه، كان اختفى يعني. لعبة شكلها مضروبة. المكتب حقي كان هنا أتوقع، ليش الحين وأنا قادر أشوفه؟ لا أعلم. أمر غريب حقا. خلنا نعطي هذا.
It won't work like that. Now there is a form for information procurement on the clipboard. Hello, Chief. May I just disturb you briefly?
Halligan, you're a pain in the neck. Are you planning to start doing things just like Lowry did?
I need information from the central database. It's about the skeleton murders. But Janet says she needs a signed 223. I've got it with me.
You've got it with you? How nice for you. And do you know something, Halligan? I will not sign it. What do you say to that?
Why not, Chief?
Why not, Chief?
You don't need the database. You've got the file. Make the most of it.
How do you expect me to conduct investigations if you won't allow me to use the database, Chief?
You'll have to get up off your backside and do your own work, Halligan. I feel much more comfortable knowing that you and Lowry can't get up to any more nonsense with the confidential data stored in our database.
Of course, Chief. Thanks a lot.
Don't get stroppy, Halligan.
أخي غريبة، مكتب اختفى. أو أوكي هذا مكتب. لا هذا برا. لا هذا مكتبي صح. يا الله من رداءة اللعبة ضيعت. في أشياء.
I never use the receiver. That thing is just too heavy. Using the loudspeaker is much more comfortable. I'd better leave that here. I'd better leave that here. My answering machine. I'd better leave that here. It doesn't work like that. You don't hear anything, and nothing happens either. I never use the receiver. That thing is just too heavy. Using the loudspeaker is much more.
Loudspeaker, okay.
I never use the receiver. That thing is just too heavy. Using the loudspeaker is much more comfortable.
تضغط.
I can find my way without a map. I know my way around well enough. That one is wet. Anyway, I'm already wearing a coat. I'm determined to give up smoking. Leave those alone.
أقول له مثلا رفض وقع.
Hello, Janet. What about my database inquiry now?
I don't like to repeat myself, Brent. Have you not been listening?
Yes, of course I have.
Well, then you know it all, don't you?
Sure.
In that case, see you later, Brent.
Good. See you later, then.
Take your time, Brent.
No, not a chance. Now there is a form. It won't work like that.
شوف يمكن هذه.
Why should I copy that? I can get loads of them from Janet. A sheet of carbon paper. Very useful when dealing with bureaucrats. There's no point in that. A matchbox. Still half full. That won't get me any further. The green scarf. It's Janet's.
يمكن أحط هذا.
No, better not. My case file. It would have surprised me if it had worked. Now I've got a clipboard with the form for information procurement and a sheet of carbon. Nothing's happening. Of course, it can't work like I thought it would. My case file.
خلنا نتعبث في هذا يمكن يصير
Far
شيء.
too hot to touch.
too hot يمكن هذا.
Think first, Brent. It won't work like that. If I pull that hose off, the whole of Scotland Yard will blow up. Actually, that's not a bad idea. If I pull that hose
ينفجر
off,
المكان
the
كله.
whole of Scotland Yard will blow up. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I thought it wouldn't work like that. I'd better not light that. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Halligan.
I've just come back from the place where they found the bones in Epping Forest.
Why are you telling me? Have there been any decisive discoveries in that case?
What is it this time, Halligan?
Where can I find?
I'd really like to know how a braggart like you managed to get a date with Janet.
Well, you know what, Halligan? Women do like a winner, don't they? Little Janet is no exception. We went to the Palace yesterday.
What was showing?
The new Schwarzenegger film.
You know how to handle women, don't you?
Of course. Janet said she found it disgusting, but I know for a fact that she was very keen on it. Women are like that. Do you understand?
Why should a woman like her find you boring stories? Okay.
What amazes me is why a woman like her should find your boring stories about cars, sports and action films so entertaining.
Halligan, I'm sure you didn't come to tell me that. What do you really want?
Do you know how to operate the copying machine?
Yes, I do.
Will you
And will you tell me?
Just guess.
Yes.
Nearly right. No would have been the correct answer, but you nearly got it, old boy.
Okay. I'll talk to you later, Lowry.
ممكن هذا.
One copy of the file is enough for me. My case file.
يمكن شيء ما فتشناه هنا.
Hello, officer. Any news?
No, sir.
I just want to ask you something else.
Yes, sir?
You just said you know the other cases.
That's right, sir. Well, I read about them in the newspaper.
What do you think the murderer does with the flesh of his victims?
That's too hard to answer, sir. I haven't got a clue what goes on in lunatics' heads when they do things like that. Maybe he freezes them. That's happened before.
Apparently the man sold the flesh of his victims in his butcher's shop. Can you believe that?
I don't know, sir. That's what they wrote in the Sun, but I'd rather not believe it. A lot of people bought meat there. If that was true, they've all become cannibals.
Cannibals.
He was murdered in prison. What do you think about that?
That's tough luck for him. I would rather have one innocent man too many die than have one assassin run around loose.
Yes, that's a very common opinion. But it's not the right one for a police officer. Suspects are innocent until proven guilty, officer. Don't you know that?
Of course, sir. But you asked me for my opinion. Well, this is it. Beg your pardon.
Okay, officer, that was it. Thank you.
Any time, sir.
There's hardly any flesh on the bone. Unbelievable. This bone is quite long. Seems it's from the victim's leg. The grass next to the bones is black. I can't do it with the scarf. Textile fiber, that's futile as well. I can't do it with the scarf. Textile fibers would stick to it. That would be stupid. Not a good idea. No, better not. No, better not. That won't get me any further. I thought it wouldn't work like that. I'd better not light that. No way.
لحظة.
I've got no money for that.
في عمود هنا.
Hello, Mr. Doyle. That is Sir Arthur Conan. Hello, Mr. Doyle. We'll see if that's true. This book claims that I can stop my cooking book for single households. Non-smoker within 21 days. John Sinclair, Ghost Hunter. My favorite book. Corn circles. That was really interesting. The Sirius Riddle. I didn't like that book very much. I wanted to give it to Stryker, but he doesn't read. Ah, All About Darts. A top title. There was a really good DIY description to build dartboards in it. This book claimed, we'll see if that's true. That one is wet. My spare coat. That one is wet. That one is wet. Anyway, I'm already wearing a coat. I can't do that. Chief Inspector Miller will get the results of the investigation in my last case. Conclusion? The offender could not be determined.
شيء هنا. ملكة بريطانيا. بس كذي.
God save the Queen. I can't do that. I'd better not light that. That doesn't work. That won't get me any further. The cleaner will empty the ashtray. I won't find anything I could make use of now in there.
ما في سيف في اللعبة شيء. غريبة هاللعبة. ما سيف لا.
Hello, Janet. Ladies' coats don't suit me. I think that's Janet's coat. That doesn't work. That's the Central Crime Prevention Office. A monitor. The switchboard. We have 4 lines, but Janet's all on her own at the moment. That's what happens during the holidays. Lowry's files. Neatly and tidily filed rubbish. It's amazing he keeps getting away with it.
طير ملفاته. شغالة.
This is Lowry's world. Cars, cars, cars.
Hey, I've had enough. Get your paws off my scissors, will you? What is it this time, Halligan?
Lowry, about our conversation before.
What?
I've got some questions for you.
My God, Halligan, you just don't get the message, do you? Well, what is it?
Let's not argue, Lowry. I need some information from you about the last investigations.
You've got the file, Halligan. I suppose you can read. And now scram.
Lowry, I've read your file. There's just nonsense in it.
You know what I think, Halligan? I think I don't need to tolerate a detective in a £20 suit walking past my door criticising the quality of my work.
There's no point in that. A matchbox, still half full. Now I've got a clipboard with the form for information procurement and a sheet of carbon paper. That doesn't work.
يمكن أسوي شيء في المروحة هذه. ما يسوي شيء. في شيء تسويه هنا بس ما أدري إيش. حركة مسويها كذي.
That would be stupid. It won't work like that. That won't get me. I should think up something. It looks like that won't. I don't believe it. I should think that doesn't. I should think about it again. A board. Just like at school, isn't it? These things are called Erlenmeyer flasks. That is a microscope. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Halligan.
I've just come back from the place where they found the bones in Epping Forest.
Why are you telling me? Have there been any decisive discoveries in that case?
لا خلنا هاللعبة هذه مثل ما قالوا عنها والله يعني صعبة ومضروبة يمكن لأن لعبتهم الأولى وما فيها سيف ما كيف نسيف يعني طيب ابغى اسيف مثلا، ما في خروج. راح اوقف هنا يا شباب بس حبيت اراويكم هاللعبة التعبانة. نشوفكم على خير ان شاء الله وفي امان الله.